Hello, I'm Tim Harris. This is Julie Harris, and this is Real Estate Coaching Radio.
That's right. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any future episodes. Thanks again for popping by. Hit that like button, and don't forget to leave your comments and questions so we can get right back with you.
We will. Thank you for continuing to make our podcast, Real Estate Coaching Radio, the #1 listened to podcast for real estate professionals in at least the United States. And let us know what you think about this video. Leave your comments below. Thank you.
We are back, and actually we are picking up where we left off a week ago when we were talking about door knocking. And I have to say, Julie, the door knocking podcast series that you wrote has become one of our biggest downloaded and listened to podcasts, and now it's quickly becoming one of our biggest downloaded and viewed YouTube videos, which tells me and tells you and should tell all of you that it is something. Door knocking and learning how to be a proactive lead generator is definitely something that everyone wants to know how to do, needs to know how to do, because really a lot of the passive lead generation stuff from social and from buying leads, it's had its day in the sun, all these passive ideas. And as the economy changes, as the housing market changes, people are realizing they are going to have to actually get off their duffs and learn how to be proactive lead generators and how to have real meaningful conversations with real estate, prospective real estate clients. And in doing so, and I know you're reading this as well from our people who email us and text us and all the rest of it, they're having more expensive, right? They're having more success from that experience faster than they thought. They had no clue, frankly, that they're going to be able to generate so many leads so quick.
Yes, absolutely. And here's the thing. This doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
And at the same time, there's so many added benefits. For example, of course, your skills are going to increase your ability to have really great, valuable conversations about real estate. That's going to get better and better with every conversation you have. Of course, we all know that most real estate transactions do indeed come from a face-to-face conversation about real estate. Most people will choose to work with the first person they talk to about their situation. Your job is to be that person. And another great byproduct of this, Tim, is that it creates a lot of lead follow-up for these guys, where also you have a high likelihood of setting your next appointments from.
But really all those things are the practical, tactical reasons you want to door knock or do any kind of proactive lead generation. But I'll say the biggest psychological mindset reason why is because a lot of agents right now, most agents right now, are looking for a sense of direction. They feel the market's changed. I mean, really, I don't know. Did I tell you this, Jules? Originally, they were expecting there to be 5.5 million home sales this year, and now they're actually projecting, I believe it's NAR that's projecting now it's only going to be 5 million home sales, so 500,000 fewer home sales.
Sure.
But that's actually a million home sales fewer than last year, something like that. So you're talking about a very significant number of real estate agents who won't be doing real estate transactions at all. And a lot of the agents who are listening to us right now and are in the business have only been in real estate, frankly, for the last 5 years or less. And if you've not sold real estate for more than really 15 years, you've not sold real estate during a transitioning market, you're at an advantage and you're at a disadvantage. And the disadvantage is the advantage is you don't have the battle scars,
True.
So you don't have the bad memories of what that market's like. But the disadvantage is you don't know how different things really can be and how quickly they can change. And if you've been in real estate only in really the last 5 or even 10 years, you've come up during a very sort of bizarre time in the real estate industry, because there's been this advent of all this lead buying and team building and branding and marketing. These things really have hit their peak. Why? Because there was so much money that was in real estate, so many agents looking to spend money, so many agents not really understanding how to decide what they should spend their money on, if they should spend their money at all. On anything. And so as a result, that's brought in a lot of these businesses that were venture funded. And, I don't want to bore all of you, but the moral of the story is a lot of those businesses are washing out. A lot of these ideas that never really worked in real estate, even in the best of times, are really going to prove out not to work, certainly in a changing market like we're experiencing now. That's the reason every single one of you need to accept the fact that we're in a new market, and that's fantastic. There's going to be fewer transactions in most of the country, and that's actually not a bad thing either when you take into consideration that your biggest competitor for the most part isn't the seasoned grizzled veteran. Your biggest competitor is the other agent who just got their license, or maybe the other agent who the seller might know because their kids played together, or just some social connection. But as those types of agents who aren't really serious about the business get out of the business, the ones that have skills they're absolutely going to clean up. That's the reason that during a market shift like this, you always see, you see one of two things. you see new kings crowned, new queens crowned in the marketplaces. Those are the agents that were able to adapt to the new market, learn the new skills. They didn't wait around for the market to change back to the way it was. They said, this is what it is. I'm going to make the most of it. And then sometimes you also see the agents who are at the top of the market, who are the actual dominant agents, they actually start to get more market share. So you could, but here's where it's interesting. It's fascinating. I have to be careful saying this because it offends some people, but it's still true. A lot of what happens in a market like this are the dug-in, grizzled teams and brokers refuse to change. They still try to carry their old way of thinking and their old expense structure into this new market. And when they do that, and the new market essentially doesn't allow them to, frankly, make it work cash flow-wise, they go out of business and they have to hit hard reset on their personal and business lives. I'll suggest if you're in that bucket, if you're in that bracket, if you're realizing that you're essentially trying to model your business after something that worked in the past market, you need to take a seriously hard look at adapting very quickly to the new realities. Otherwise, frankly, you're going to most likely suffer needlessly. Don't wait to learn what I just said is true. Get ahead of whatever is going to happen next. Because, guys, 1 million fewer transactions is 1 million fewer transactions. That's a lot of transactions that are leaving the marketplace. And a lot of you, again, have been buying your business. And the quality of the leads, have you noticed the quality of especially the buyer leads has really gone to pot? Well, that's just going to get worse as well. So please, 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 please don't wait to experience hardship to realize what I'm telling you is true. Take action on all of that now. So we're going to get back to door knocking, and this is the last part of our 4-part series. So Julie, point number 13.
Yes, part 4, point number 13. Post on social media, especially on YouTube, a video of you starting to prospect a specific neighborhood. This should be you in front of the neighborhood sign or something recognizable about where you are. Share some fast facts and explain that you'll be there this afternoon connecting with all of the neighbors and answering any real estate questions. Give your mobile number, post it on all of your social media. And of course, you can refer to our podcast series about how to utilize videos for real estate agents.
Now I'm going to talk real briefly about this. First of all, YouTube is now migrating towards trying to be a little TikTok-y, and so is Instagram. In other words, it's starting to give more priority to short videos, which is perfect because short videos don't have to be really produced at a high level. It's great. And what Julie just said, why are we telling you to do this? Because what's going to happen is as you're door knocking and getting to know the neighbors and essentially building your centers of influence and past clients, they're most likely going to do a little bit of Googling on you to find out what your story is. And so if you've created a lot of these little short snippet, TikTok type videos, and they're on Instagram, they're on YouTube, and maybe even on TikTok, what's going to happen is those search results will come up and they're going to see you're very proactive in the community. You get it? So all we're trying to do is use the social to reinforce, use the passive, social media to reinforce the proactive, which is you door knocking. That is closing the loop. That's creating a web. Now, there's a way to do these videos, and Julie gave you some ideas. We also include in our Premier Coaching, which is free for all of you, a 12-month social media marketing plan. It's something a lot of you, frankly, are struggling with because you don't know what to talk about, what to do. We give you a lot of great ideas, kind of model out your entire year what you should be doing. I just gave you some ideas right there. And if you want to join Premier Coaching for free, you heard that right, for free, simply text the word Premier to 47372. Text the word Premier to 47372, or you can always go to members.timandjulieharris.com if you don't want to text or if you're outside of the continental United States. But the easiest way for sure is just to text the word Premier, P-R-E-M-I-E-R, to 47372. And when you do, we'll text you back a link. You click that link and you can join Premier Coaching in usually about 22 seconds. And you will have instant access to Premier Coaching, which includes a daily semi-private coaching call, daily as in every workday, Monday through Friday, semi-private coaching call. You'll have immediate access to our private members-only Facebook groups. You'll have immediate access to the scripts, the objection handlers, a lot of the things that we talk about on this podcast, you get for free. So don't wait on this. This is a perfect time of year for you to be getting your skills 100% in alignment with this new market. So text the word Premier to 47372. Remember, when texting, message and data rates may apply.
Yes, so back to point number 13 just for a second. So let's say that you went door knocking today in Oak Creek. You talked about it. You gave some fast facts. You let everybody know you'll be there this afternoon. Well, maybe this weekend, somebody in Oak Creek is thinking about listing their property. One of the first things they're going to do is go to Google and say, agents or realtors or real estate agents in Oak Creek. They want to know who actually sells that area. And guess whose video is going to pop up, assuming that you did point number 13.
Well, you're going to get me. We're never going to move past 13, but this is this is such a sweet thing that she just said. You all should do this experiment. Go to your phone, open up Chrome, assuming you have that on your phone, and then do a search for, Julie's using Oak Creek. I mean, Oak Creek's a subdivision we used to sell in, right? But use the name of a subdivision in a community, like as if you were a buyer looking, right? And then what I want you to notice is the first ads that come up are the pay-per-click ads. And then after that, what you're going to see is usually the first, second, or third search results, you're going to see search results from YouTube. In other words, you're going to see that Google is starting to give priority to these short little snippet videos that I just described to you. And they're prioritizing the videos above the normal search results. In other words, you're going to get primo search results. Why? Because they want people to click search results, and they know people will click video search results like at a 5-to-1 ratio more than a textual search result. So you need to be doing these little short videos in conjunction with what you're already doing. Now, it's not enough to just do the video. You're going to have to use a system like the one Julie and I use is called vidIQ to make sure you're getting all the YouTube social media or YouTube SEO stuff right. You have to title it right. You have to put in tags. It's all
None of that's hard, though.
Oh, it's super simple. I mean, frankly, if you and I know how to do it.
Right. And vidIQ is so cheap. I don't even remember how much it costs.
There's a free version.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
And we're not affiliated with vidIQ. It's just vidIQ. And then it'll tell you essentially how to make it so that your videos get higher placement. The key is always to have very drilled down titles in your descriptions saying, today I'm door knocking and getting to know the neighbors in Oak Creek subdivision. And blah, 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 blah. Nothing, a lot of, you don't need a lot of blithering and blathering, just very 3 or 4 lines. And then you want to put your links. If you'd like to contact me about homes for sale in Oak Creek, or if you're thinking about selling your home in Oak Creek, and then give your cell phone number, things like that. And what you'll find is you'll start generating leads from your YouTube. But what you're really trying to do is close the loop. Door knock, hello, hi, it's Bob at my door. Bob's here to provide me some information about recent home sales. Bob's, very nice, very approachable. I like Bob. Bob's great. He's obviously trying to do a great job getting homes sold in our community. Well, I'm curious about Bob. Before I actually want to, further my relationship with him, I have my phone in my pocket. I pull it out. I Google Bob's name. Then I find Bob's actually very proactive. You guys get it? This is all free. Every single thing we told you how to do so far is free.
Yes, and the super cool thing about doing the video in addition or in conjunction with your actual door knocking is that video is going to live on, and the search results will live on. So it gives a boost to that door knocking.
Right.
Okay, point number 14, door knock the neighborhood prior to all of your open houses. Again, give out a flyer with the stats for the neighborhood and add your home brochure for the home that you'll hold open. Ask who they know who you should invite to the open house. Ask permission to place your directional signs in the yards. And don't forget to ask, who do you know who could use my help buying or selling real estate?
Well, let me give you a little bit of an enhancement to this. Now, this will work pretty much in all price ranges, but our best agent, we have agents that are making, millions of dollars per year, and one of their primary lead drivers is doing exactly what we talk about. One of the things you want to do, it works sometimes unbelievably well in certain neighborhoods, usually more expensive neighborhoods realistically. But one of the things you want to do is you want to have a neighbors only open house prior to the main open house. And so what you can do is you can go and door knock the neighbors, invite them to the open house. And then by inviting them to the open house, you're going to maybe have the open house, the normal one for the public, open from 1 till 4, where you're going to have the neighbors only open house from say, 12 till 1 or something like that. What you're doing is you're just showing that you're more proactive and you're getting to know all the neighbors. And the neighbors are going to think, you know what? This gives me the opportunity to go through that house and look in their garage and see if they ever gave me my mower back or my,
It's true.
Search for the missing, whatever. See if my neighbors accidentally snatched it. That's a bad joke, but you guys get the point. What we're really trying to do is position you, put you in. You're now door knocking. You're now having conversations. You're now delivering value to people. You're now being the person you want to be, and you're working in the communities you want to work. You're actually doing real work of real estate. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel versus, say, for example, working on your CRM? More or less confident. How does that make you feel knowing you're having direct conversations with people versus, say, building a big funnel that hopefully maybe you're going to spend a bunch of money trying to get people to go into so you can drip on them? Door knocking, having real proactive conversations. it immediately energizes you, immediately makes you more in alignment with your highest and truest purpose on this planet, which is being of service to other people. Point number 15.
Yes, and number 15 is a mindset point. Believe that door knocking works and it will work. How you speak with someone when you're prospecting is greatly influenced by how you're thinking about what you're doing. Napoleon Hill said, what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. You'll have more energy and enthusiasm when you're all in versus, oh, I'm going to try it out, or I'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to do this for one day and see whether it works or not. So believe that it's working, be consistent about it, and your attitude about it will cause you to have better results.
And also, with regards to that, when you're door knocking, use the scripts that we give you. We talked about those a little bit on the first couple shows of this series, but also, obviously, these are all waiting for you over on Premier Coaching. And all of you are ready to join Premier Coaching. Don't wait. Just text the word Premier to 47372, and you can join right away. Remember, when texting, message and data rates may apply.
Yes. Now, our final point, number 16, is number 16 in a 4-part series because it's a bit more advanced. It's also one of my favorite points about door knocking. You can create a neighborhood directory as a way to get everyone's contact information and connect the community. This can be digital and or hard copy. It's a great excuse to door knock, and you're providing value to the community. You can include a map of the neighborhood, phone numbers to the utility companies who service the neighborhood, and a section for other recommended providers like the sprinkler guy, a pool guy, a painter, a dog walker, a babysitter. And of course, your real estate ad with testimonials will be in that section as well. Or you could put it in the back cover as directory sponsored by Bob Smith of eXp Realty, for example. This is why hard copy is nice. It stays in their kitchen with your information on it, and they use it all the time. They're not going to throw it out.
This is such a huge idea when you do it well. And of course, Julie and I did this as well. And yes, we could have leaned into one of those, online portals. What was the one that was in Georgetown?
Like nextdoor.com.
Nextdoor.com, and they provide, but they're keeping all of that pertinent information behind a paywall, and you're not in control of it. So really what you want to do is, there's a couple different ways to go about this. I would say you'll experience, again, depending on the price range, you're going to experience 50% of the people are going to be very apprehensive about giving their information out. So here's the move, is you want to essentially create a fill-in-the-blank flyer. And the fill-in-the-blank flyer has no required information. Now, you can have an address associated with a name. You don't have to have their permission to say 123 Elm Street is lived in by Bob and Betty Jones, right? You can do that. All their other information, they have to decide whether they want to share it. Their phone numbers, their email addresses, whatever else it is. So you will door knock, and you will say, we're putting together a directory as a community service, and this directory is only going to be given to people in the neighborhood. It's not going to be shared in any other way. It's only going to be in print format. It's not going to be in digital format. No one's going to be able to essentially email it or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about any nefarious, marketing that might happen as a result of it. This is just for the neighborhood. In addition to that, we're going to include a list of the service providers. So if you've got any, and on the same, fill in the blank thing, who is your favorite babysitter? Who's your favorite roofer? Who is your preferred, landscaper? Who is your preferred all the rest of it, right? If you're from Columbus, Ohio, like where Julie and I are from, who's the best, most reliable person that's going to show up in the middle of the night and move the 14 feet of snow off your driveway?
Right.
All that sort of thing, right? Give them the babysitters, all these types of things.
But that's really valuable,
Totally.
I mean, how many times I got to go Google that, and then I've got to look at reviews, and I got to sift and sort all that out. What if you knew, and we talk about this all the time, that when somebody needs a service provider, what do? Who do I already know? If I don't already know somebody, I'm going to ask a trusted friend or advisor. I'm probably going to ask a neighbor because they're going to know who services the community. So this is a really valuable thing for you to put together that will have shelf life. And of course, you can sponsor the back cover. You can include yourself in the service providers. There's lots of ways you can work this.
And so you should do this. This is just thinking big here. You should do this every year. Now, when Julie and I did this, what we did was we do it. Actually, I don't think we updated it every year. I think we updated it like every 18 months or 24 months. But it was obviously completely voluntary. At first, people were apprehensive, and then they felt left out. They had FOMO of not being in the directory.
I know.
And so then they'd all want to be in the directory. So it picked up more momentum over the years. But the way that we always introduced this is another idea for door knocking. One of the best lead generators for Julie and I, you'll have to remind me what month we did this, is in Columbus, Ohio. We used to sell in this area called New Albany, Ohio. In New Albany, Ohio, well, in Columbus in general, what is the property tax rate?
Close to 2%.
Yeah, it's not like Dallas where some places it's 3.5%. But
It's enough that you think about it,
You think
especially
about
now
it.
with higher prices.
Correct. And we were selling in an area where at the time the average sale price was probably close to $1 million. We didn't start out there. Our average sale price our first year in business was like 120, and we migrated to the more expensive price ranges intentionally. And that's one of the things we can teach you guys how to do in coaching. Just because you're selling in a less expensive area doesn't mean you have to keep selling in a less expensive area. Mm-hmm. You can actually move up relatively quick. We moved to the expensive area in our 7th year of real estate, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So here's the moral of the story. We would every year tell them how to contest their property tax assessment. So what would happen is the property tax assessor would just sort of unilaterally decide what the hell your property is worth. Yeah. And then they would send you a new revised tax bill, and that damn thing never went down.
Yeah, it's up to you to fight it.
Exactly. And it didn't really reflect what the property's value was, especially in Columbus, Ohio, because the prices, at least when we sold there, they weren't always going up. A lot of times they were just flat, especially in the more expensive areas. And sometimes there would be reasons to believe that the prices have actually fallen, but not in the eyes of the tax assessor, of course. So what they would do, and they do this in your community as well, is they would go and, they do their assessment. They say, hey, guess what? Your new tax bill is this. And if you want to contest it, you have to do this. Well, in Columbus and your market as well, it's not that difficult. Now, here's 2 ways you can go about doing it. It's a form to fill out, and then you have to include comps that you're generally speaking going to want to get. This is you as a seller or you as a homeowner. So you're going to fill out a form contesting your property tax assessment, and then you're going to have to include comps. Now, where are you going to get those comps? Oh, I know. The agent who just door knocked, because the agent who just door knocked also had essentially an explanation of how they can contest their property taxes. And this is what we would do. Knock, knock, knock. You realize your property taxes went up. Would you like to contest your property taxes? And of course they would say yes. And we say, well, here's how you do it. You fill out this form and I'll do a little CMA for you. And you can then send it into this address and you're right as rain. And then it would almost always, they would reduce the property taxes by some usually small amount, but who cares? You just saved that person money. Do you think those people loved us for doing that?
Of course, especially if you give them an example, right?
Right.
Where you can say, your neighbor down the street just saved $1,500 on that. It's worth maybe 30 minutes of your time and an hour of my time to provide some comparables. Would you like me to do that for you? Remember, when you door knock, anytime you prospect, you're supposed to be providing something of value and a call to action. And this is a really easy way to do that.
Well, look what it's doing. It's that little idea is pigeonholing you into all the right places you want to be in their minds, right? You're being of service. You're saving the money. You're giving them something of value. You're positioning yourself as a real estate expert. Why didn't my realtor tell me about all of this? All these things are good for you.
You're the neighborhood specialist.
You guys get it? This is how you build businesses that are not based on you having created some cute TikTok video with you and your cat. You guys get it? This is how you provide value to your neighborhood, to your community, and how you make yourself a legend in your neighborhood. This is how you make it so 10 years, 20 years from now, you're still the preferred real estate agent. Now, I will say we didn't do this, but in some states, there's actually attorneys, frankly, that will do these reassessments for you. And what they'll do is they'll give you, we use this when we live in Texas. How'd that work? How'd the math work?
That was their thing. There was a law firm that fighting property taxes was kind of their widget. And they, if you Google them, you can find them.
But they got a percent.
They got a percent. So they would argue it down by, I don't know, whatever percent. And then they got a percent of that. So I think they ended up making $200 or $300 if they saved you $2,000, something like that.
Right. Now, how would you use that, listeners? Just allow your creative minds have at it. So if you're in a community and it's easier, or maybe it legally has to be done through an attorney, which I'm not sure if it was the case in Texas or we were just being lazy. Probably the lazy thing, I'm guessing. Yeah. Right. So whichever way.
They might have prospected us, actually.
They did. But you can actually go and include in your door knocking, you can do it yourself, Mr. Seller, and I'll help you with the comps, or you can use this law firm, and then you need to then go to that law firm and tell them that you're going to be doing marketing for them, and then you need to have them pay for the directory entirely. So the directory is going to be subsidized by the law firm or law firms that you're essentially sending business to for the sake of, essentially they're doing property tax reassessments. This is ultimately how you create a juggernaut in your community. If someone knocks on your door right now and they're offering to help you save money, and they're telling you how to do it for free, or you can also use it for free, and you'll just end up having the taxes, some of the savings from the taxes go to paying for the service. Are you telling me that you're not going to forever be grateful to that person? Of course you are. And always, 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 listeners, always say, by the way, who do you know who's thinking about buying or selling real estate that I should be helping in this market? They're going to feel obligated to help you, and especially in a market like this. I read a headline yesterday, I didn't share it with you, that prices have fallen, real estate prices have fallen by the most, I'm trying to get this right, since 2000 and I don't remember what, it wasn't even that long ago. And the number was, ready for it, 0.87%. Right. But it was a bullshit headline, like most of them are, because it was prices had fallen, but that's not really what your minds are thinking what my mind was, right? Homes are losing value. That isn't what it was. Homes were reduced in price. That's asking price. For sale homes were reduced in asking price. It wasn't that all homes across the country, all of a sudden are losing value. It's the asking prices that sellers and agents put on these homes that are being reduced by less than 1%. That was the headline. But you wouldn't have gotten that if you just read the headline. The headline was all, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because people love to click on doom and gloom. That's why, at the end of the day. Yeah. People love to have these, that's it.
But a mini price reduction on a home that's for sale is completely different than I paid $500,000 for my house last year. Now I got to take an offer for $480,000.
Well, but think about that, Julie. So your $400,000 house is for sale, and you got to reduce it by $4,000. I mean, so what?
I know, especially when the average homeowner who has a mortgage has over $180,000 worth of equity.
It's probably close to 200 now, right?
Yeah, because that's like 3 months old. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the funny part to what you just said. In the same article, I'm remembering it now, they talked about the fact that year-over-year appreciation, it was like 19.7%.
I know.
I
the
mean,
horror.
Exactly. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. I'm only going to make on my $400,000 house, I'm only going to make, what would it be, $76,000 opposed to $80,000?
But, the thing is, we can thank those salacious headlines for making people real estate curious.
Yep.
And making it so that everybody wants to know what's actually happening out there. That means it's your job to provide that education for them, to provide value when you have those conversations.
That's right. So listen, guys, a lot of you are searching for how you're going to position yourselves in this new market. One of the first things that all of you should be doing is taking a hard look at your brokerage situation. Whether you're a broker, whether you're a team, whether you're an individual agent, a new agent, a grizzled veteran like a lot of our listeners are, I strongly encourage you to look to where you can be positioning yourself for the changing market and the new market that's yet to come. And one of the things we'll absolutely welcome you to do is contact us about eXp Realty. That's when Julie and I aligned with eXp Realty 3 years, 8 months ago, and it's one of the best business decisions we ever made. In that time, we've created one of the largest eXp groups, and we are inviting you to be part of our eXp group. And we would love to have a direct conversation with you. A lot of you are looking to maximize the benefit, the profit from your sales. The easiest way for you to do that, obviously, is by putting more money in your pocket, by creating, having a better commission split, frankly. And eXp Realty is most likely going to save you a lot of money. But when you add all the benefits from the wealth building, the best way to encapsulate this is the old question that agents would ask is, what are you paying your broker? The new question is, what is your broker paying you? That's really one of the biggest mindset shifts that agents are having right now. There's agents, you guys, most of you don't know what you're actually paying your broker. You say, well, I'm on an 85, 15 or whatever it is, but that's not including the 6% you're paying per year, or that's not including this, that's not including that. When you actually take the time, and you should all do this is the perfect time of year to do it, from what you've sold so far, figure out what you've paid your broker. You will be shocked. You'll be shocked how much money you could have saved. I was on a call with Dan Lesniak this morning, and he's sponsoring an agent from Berkshire Hathaway, and I was helping him. Really fantastic agent from Columbus, Ohio, by the way.
I heard that part.
And this guy is on an 85-15, and by moving to eXp, and this is Columbus, Ohio, his average sale price was, I think it was $350. His if he'd been at eXp Realty selling what he did so far this year, he would have already made an additional $30,000.
That's nice. Well, decision made, right?
Well, but here, think about this. So we were also talking about investment properties. Dan and Carrie are really well known for their investment, skills and talents. So I asked him, well, actually, this was the thought. Like, he wants to buy a VRBO. He was talking about how much money he'll make from the VRBO. But if you actually factor in the amount of money, the cash up front it takes, furnishing it, all the hassle that goes with it, the wear and the tear, what his actual net will be off that VRBO, given the amount of money he's going to have to shovel out. He said $50,000 just to buy it, probably another $25,000 just to get it out of the ground, get it rentable, furniture and whatnot. And then how much money is he actually hoping to make? I'm sure it was less than $30,000 a year. So he's shoveling out all this money to try to create probably less money than he'd save just by moving to eXp Realty. You get it?
Absolutely.
So to make $2,500 a month additional to him is a significant portion of his income. And it will be for all of you as well. Depending on what your situation is, this could be the greatest home run ever. Look, we strongly encourage all of you to get your money right, especially going into this changing market. If you want to talk to us about eXp Realty, text me directly at 512-758-0206. That is my real cell phone. I know some of you like to call. I don't ever answer the phone. Don't take it personally. It's because I'm almost always on the phone. Or you can take it personally too if you want to, I suppose.
If you'd like.
But especially since I said don't call, text 512-758-0206. It's really me. You don't have to put me through a bunch of quizzes to find out whether I'm AI, because that happens a lot too. It's really me. So text me directly at 512-758-0206. And in the subject line, just put in EXP. And then we'll, get the conversation started. I'm sure it's a great fit for you. And we would love the honor and the privilege to be your sponsor at eXp Realty. And that's truly what it is for us. In the meantime, guys, keep your heads screwed on straight. Stay drilled down. Know that the best opportunities in real estate, and probably Julie and I's almost 30 years, is yet to come for sure. The changing market creates huge opportunities, sometimes for the same agents, but usually for different agents. Be one of those agents that are benefiting from this shifting market. Be one of the agents that 2 or 3 years from now, you're looking back and you're so incredibly grateful that you listened to today's podcast and you took action on some of the things we talked about, starting with, of course, joining Premier Coaching and learning how to be a very prolific, proactive lead generator. Have a fantastic day. We'll talk with you on the show tomorrow.
Hello, thank you for having watched this video. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. And don't forget to hit that like button, leave your comments and questions below, and we will get right back with you.
Thank you for watching this video. And remember to watch the next one. You're going to love that one.